Today I'm going to show you how to embed a Google Earth gadget into a Google Sites. Now we need to do a couple things before we're ready to embed this gadget, and the first is to save our KML file from Google Earth out to a public location. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my Google Earth environment here, and you notice that I've got a map up and I've got some places over here. Let's just say I want to save this Fort Peck place names file. Now I can do that in a couple ways. The easiest way is just to right click on that file and go to Save Place As. And if I click on that, what it's going to do, it's going to bring up a window and it's going to say Save As. Now this is really important. Most of you will have KMZ under Files of Type. What we need to do in order for this embed element to work, it has to be saved as a KML file. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change that to a KML file, and then I'm going to save that to my desktop. Once I do that, I'm going to come back into my website, and I'm going to go out to a Dropbox, to my Dropbox folder. Now, I've tried Google Drive, and I couldn't get it to work for some reason, even though I made it public and everything. So my choice is to go with the Dropbox. And in everybody's Dropbox, you should have a public folder, and the public folder becomes really important because when I take and I upload, I can just click on upload, and you notice I already have that in here. If I right click on it, you notice it gives me access to a public link. Now that becomes important because for the embed code to work, it has to be a public link. It cannot be, only shared with certain people. It has to be shared publicly. So I'm going to go back to my site. That's the first couple steps you need to do in order to be ready. The next step then is to grab the gadget code for the Embed KML gadget. Now on my website, on cruisertech.com, under the Google Earth link, there's actually a link to that code, which is right here. And when I go to that code, this is what you get. You get a bunch of stuff here that probably doesn't make a lot of sense. All you're looking at here is just gadget code. It's just not really pretty in some nice format. It's just a bunch of code. I'm going to take and I'm going to copy the URL. So I'm going to copy that. And then when I come back to my Google Sites page, notice that I'm already in the edit mode here for my site, or for my page within my site. And to embed a kind of third-party or secondary gadget, what we have to do is we have to come to Insert. None of the gadgets here are the ones that we need, so we're going to click on More Gadgets. And then notice we can browse through some of these other gadgets here, or what we're going to choose is to add gadget by URL. When we click on that, it brings up a cell. Now that code that we just copied, we're going to take and we're going to copy it into here, click on Add, and what happens is all that nice and pretty code makes a nice gadget for us. First thing I like to do is I like to change this. I'm going to make this page width, and I know my page is about 900 pixels. I'm going to take that height up to about 600 so it doesn't look so squashed together. And now the last part here, this goes back to the Dropbox. What I need to do is I need to go back to my Dropbox. I need to right click and I need to copy this public link. So I'm going to take that link and then I'm going to come back to here and I'm going to then paste that into here. Now what I've just done is I've said, okay, I've got this nice gadget. Now this is the content that I want to put in. So I'm putting my own content into this gadget. I can click on this preview gadget down here, and you notice that my embedded KML viewer is what it's called, shows up, and it should go right to the area where my KML files are, which is in eastern Montana. I can click on Back to Configuration, and when I'm confident that I have what I need, I click OK. And now notice that down below here my gadget shows up. Now it's not going to actually show up until I click on Save for this page here. But I want to show you one other thing before we go. If I click inside the gadget anywhere, this is my editing kind of bar for this gadget. I can come back to the properties and adjust those properties. Or in my case, what I want to do is I want to center this gadget so it's not on one side of the page. So I'm going to click on that, and notice I can actually wrap text around this as well. When I'm done with that, I'm going to come up here to Save, and when I save this page, what you're going to notice is that I now have my embeddable KML viewer in place here. So that's how you take and you embed this KML file into a Google or into a Google Sites page.